Hello, and welcome to Pub and Fig. In this episode, I'm going to go over the time travel in Avengers Endgame. Now, I did post a video about how time travel is next to impossible, but Avengers Endgame does not contradict that at all, and I will explain how. So, if you want to check out my Avengers Endgame general review, go ahead and check that out if you want to see my points throughout the movie. I'm only talking about the time travel aspect here. So, with that, I hope you enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to start with my original time travel assumptions. After I first saw Endgame, I thought I already knew the logistics of how the time traveling worked. So when it came to Loki, I thought I had solved it instantly, that a new reality was created. I thought that because in order to have two different series of events take place simultaneously on the same timeline, there had to have been a new space or location for the new timeline to take place. That way both timelines can occur at the same time and safely. When it came to Thanos, I thought it was another different explanation. So I thought when Tony had snapped with the gauntlet before he had died, I thought that Thanos and all of his armies were placed back in 2014, but enough to where it was slightly more back in time. That way Thanos' armies were all preserved, but also enough to where Thanos could have remembered Tony, but not enough to remember that he would have changed his motives from snapping half of all life to recreating the universe, and enough to Nebula not getting shot. That way 2023 Nebula could still be alive. For a while, I thought the solution was perfect and flawless until I looked harder within the Loki 2012 area of Endgame. Because the original timeline did not involve the Avengers from 2023. Why do I say that? Well, as soon as the Avengers from 2023 arrived in 2012, it was inevitable for them to have screwed up. That way Loki would get the Tesseract. So then that led to the conclusion that as soon as you time travel and enter that space, then a new timeline is created, branched off from that point. Now, the Thanos part was okay with this as well, because as soon as the crew of Morak/Vormir hit 2014, then that would have created a new timeline. Meaning, when Tony snapped, he snapped Thanos and all of his armies away, but it wasn't within their timeline, it was within another timeline. So that was also preserved. But the problem with this was that there was no way for Captain America to get back home the way he did. So yeah, that pretty much screwed everything up. As I was searching for a new explanation, then I thought about the purpose of the platforms. What was their purpose? Because the suits themselves did most of the time traveling. Because look at Steve and Tony when they went to 1970. They didn't need any platforms to get there. So what's the purpose of the platforms? That is when I thought, what if this has something to do with the multiverse? So Marvel and DC are known for having multiple universes. Just look at Crisis on Infinite Earths or Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. The difference here, though, is that I believe that the universes in Avengers Endgame are identical, opposed to universes such as the one Spider-Ham is from. To where, like, there are some universes that Marvel has that are somewhat similar to the normal one, or the 616 universe, but very, very different in different ways. You know, different events, different characters, blah, blah, blah. So, but I think the ones in Avengers Endgame are identical, but I don't think every single one is identical, especially looking forward to the future. Why do I think that? What evidence do I have to support this? So the multiverse was established in the Doctor Strange movie, and in that movie, there were two elements there that can help me explain this solution. So there is the Time Stone, and the longest known user, which is not Doctor Strange, the Ancient One. So how does time travel in Avengers Endgame, the multiverse, and the Ancient One relate? So in the Doctor Strange movie, the Ancient One has always seemed to know what was going to happen. Before she dies later in the movie, she explains that she used the Time Stone to undo her deaths many, many times, explaining how she knew what was going to happen. She lived, like, who knows how many years for countless times, so she would have known everything that was going to happen. So this can link back to my new reality creation. So every time she would have used the Time Stone to go back a certain number of years and start pretty much those years all over again, that could have created the parallel universes, the identical ones, because she would have done stuff differently between those different redos. So yeah, so that is how I think those different universes are created. Another detail that could help me prove this is her interaction with Banner. She seemed as if this was her first interaction doing this because she was hesitant to give up the Time Stone. It's not like, oh, Bruce, yes, I know what you want. Doctor Strange isn't here. Here's the Time Stone. Here you go. That's not what happened. She was hesitant to give it up. She didn't know what was going to happen. Why do I think that? Well, if she goes back multiple times and creating multiple universes, Bruce may have gone into one of them, but that would have been the only one he went into. That would have been the Ancient One's first interaction with him and only interaction. To where when she used the time stone again to go back, a new universe was created, but a universe that Bruce didn't go into. So if there are numerous identical universes, then how did Captain America come back to the normal one? So I think he went through many universes to not only find the right ones to return the stones to, but also to get back to ours when he went to be with Peggy. People have also speculated that in Captain America the Winter Soldier, Peggy says that she married a guy that Captain America had saved. I personally think this was just an alibi to hide the fact that the Steve that she married was from the future. So, plus I think he would have done some identity changes and stuff like that to hide the fact that he was really Captain America. So let me sum it all up. So the Avengers used the quantum realm to time travel, but they also ended up in identical universes as they were time traveling, and they weren't going back to their own timeline. So these were created by the Ancient One, who used the time stone to save herself multiple times, but created multiple universes in the process. So if this is indeed true, then are there still Infinity Stones within the multiverse, or are they all somehow gone and inevitably destroyed? I want to leave that as a thought for you guys. Okay guys, that is all I have in this video for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I gave a new idea on how the time traveling would have worked in Endgame, and I hope you enjoyed it. Now please subscribe, like, and share if you have not done yet. So with that, sign off.